to my Instagram. So we're live everywhere. Yay. So hello, everyone. Join. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today. Sorry I'm late. Like it's been a crazy week. Last week was crazy. We had 2 birthdays and Father's Day, and 3 birthdays and Father's Day. Plus, my sister was out here from Georgia. So it's been busy. It's been busy. And I'm running back, just coming back from New York City. So it's been crazy. And I'm happy to be here. If you're new to my page, I'm Corinne Wright. I am an accountant and I help business owners, small businesses, especially my mompreneurs, keep their financial house in order and making sure that they're able to have audit proof books ready to be used for taxes, and the best part about it, to make some profit and bring some and make sure you're paying yourself because we tend to not do that as business owners or moms. Period. We tend not to pay or take care of us first. So that's what I was doing last week. Actually, I was taking care of my mom, and in reverse, I was able to take care of myself because I didn't have my kids last week for like a few days. But with that being said, our topic for today is non-negotiables and best practice for running a business. Before I go into more, definitely want to just let everyone know, like, share, and follow if you can on whatever social you're hearing me at the moment. Do that. So that's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube because we're live on YouTube as well. But definitely do that. But we're gonna go into non-negotiable best practices for running a business and everything. Like when I say non-negotiables, it's basically setting up boundaries. And when you're thinking about setting up these boundaries, think about when you hit, like, for instance, when you go to the stores and you go to any type of retail store, and that's not open 24 hours. That's open at a certain time. It's like 10 a.m. or whatever time. I think Walmart's open at 6 a.m. or Home Depot's open at 6. But they have their first non-negotiable is their store hours. So that the reason why they have those store hours wasn't because those are some magical hours that they chose. It's hours that they realize that's where they make the most money and it makes more time. So for instance, Home Depot might open at 6 o'clock in the morning because they know their contractors have to be able to pick up materials and supplies before they go on their jobs. So that's why they open at 6 in the a.m. But for me, like people like me that have to hit the stores like 5 and below or something, they're open at like 10 a.m. because of the fact that they're not expecting somebody to be worried about hopping in 5 and below, besides my crazy self, to go to the store at 5 below to go shopping because that's not an essential store. To me, it is. It's very essential, my 5 and below. But to them, that's like a non-essential store. So they're open usually between 10 to probably like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. The reasons are is because one, they know people are working. So they need to also give people that are working sometimes to be able to go shopping outside those hours. Then you also see that the hours are changed. So basically, when you're thinking about your non-negotiables and creating best practices in your business, you want to think about maybe like setting up store hours, like how the store hours are created and the reasoning for your store hours. So basically, the best practice for running a business and your non-negotiables is setting boundaries. Know when you're setting this up, you're going to be setting it up because you want to make sure when you are setting these boundaries, it's clear. Like it's clear as day. Like you know your boundaries on the back of your hand because some of us don't. Especially as millennials, we tend to not have any boundaries when we were growing up. We always were like yes, and stuff like that. Hold on. So we're yes. But setting boundaries help you, especially mompreneurs, guys. It helps you be able to do almost everything all at once, but not all at once. So basically, when you're setting these boundaries, my boundaries looks it's like a calendar for me. The number one thing I use for my best practices when I'm setting up boundaries is looking at my calendar. I guarantee if I don't look at my calendar, I'm going to double book myself. I've done it at least 4 times in the last week. But make sure you have it all set up and written out. List if you're a list person, checklist person, have it written out what it is and make it be clear. Like your kids know your boundaries, your husband knows your boundaries, your parents, everybody around you will know what the boundaries are. Whoever you're hiring will know what the boundaries are because if you don't have any boundaries, you're gonna burn yourself out. And then when you burn yourself out, that does always affect your finances. Like I always say, your emotions and things that are outside always affects your financial house. Like I can tell how somebody's doing in their finances basically in their mood. Like if somebody comes to me with a hot mess of like their things are just all over the place, I usually can tell like their profits are not there. Like it's not hitting. It's not high. They're not bringing in the right amount of money. They're most likely going to owe a lot of taxes because of the fact like they were not, putting themselves in they're not organizing their life. Like their life is not organized. Their finances weren't organized. So you want to make sure you are putting everything in order and making those boundaries set. So if we're talking, and I'm an accountant, so if we're talking about finances, you're going to want to make sure you have best practice put around like your accounting system. So the best thing is your accounting system is, how do I categorize my transactions? When should I categorize my transactions? You want to set that up. You probably want to add that to your calendar. Like for me, everything hits the calendar. If it does not hit that calendar, it's most likely not going to happen. Like I'm going to everything that's not, if my calendar is open, it's a nap. It's a nap time, or it's a chai or the power. I have to watch my power. I have to watch something or something in between. Anything that's a blank. If I don't have any time to do anything else, we're watching something or we're going to sleep. But put it on your calendar. Try it out. If it's not working on that calendar, if you are doing your books and it doesn't work for you at that time, then you can keep moving it around until it works for you, right? But you want to create the time like, okay, when am I going to sit down and when am I going to go through organizing my finances? When am I going to record all the transactions that I did? Because at the end of the day, we all know we just swipe, 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 swipe. So when you're swiping your debit card or your credit card, you want to be able to go back now and say, okay, this was this, and this is why I did it for. And this is where that's what you're doing when you're categorizing your transactions. If you're using QuickBooks, if you're using a spreadsheet, that's what you want to do. You want to take a time, 30 minutes out the month. No, 30 minutes out the week. I'm not even saying a month, out the week, depending on how much of your usage is. You want to take that 30 minutes out and then sit down and do that. So you want to book 30 minutes to do it. Maybe book yourself an hour, give you some time. I love the fact that, okay, I did it I have it booked for an hour. I finished in 30 minutes. Next 30 minutes is me time. So, you want to put your time in there, schedule it out, and then start building on that. Like the first thing, that's the foundation, is organizing the finances, right? Then you want to create some best practice on your income. How do you want your income? Do you want to be the person that sends an invoice and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting? Or do you want to make it where, okay, this is how much it's going to cost for you to do this. Here's our proposal. You pay this, we start the services, or you pay this, we provide you the product. Whatever it is, you want to decide what practice best fits you. For me, we eliminate accounts receivable. We don't do that here. If we're out here chasing people, that takes time and money. When you have to start chasing people to pay you, it's going to take a lot of time. It takes a lot of money, and I don't even like paying my own bills. So if you become a bill for somebody else, it's tiring. So you want to make sure when you're doing it, when you're setting up your AR, you want to say, how would I want to be? How do I want somebody to like accept payment for me? You want to put yourself in the customer or your client's shoes and do it that way. A lot of people complain to me. Most of my clients complain about that. Um, the fees that you get for your merchant fees. Listen, it's the cost of doing business. So if you were to invoice somebody, then they give you what do we use, ACH. They give you their routing account number. You pull it, the money, they approve it all every time. I just want to let you know, when you do ACH or any of these e-pays, they usually always approve it because they really can't tell that the money is there or not. So they approve it. You might have done your services. 10 days later, you get a note that the money had to go back. It bounced. That's why I use credit cards. It takes the worries away. Like I don't have to worry about it. It's done. It's a cost of doing business. I don't have to go back and forth with somebody saying, well, you owe me this. Let's go back and forth. Text message, emailing. It's time is money. So the less time we spend on something equals like we can make more money. I can spend time on something else. Outsource clean here. If I have to go do something and it's going to cost me a lot of money to do it because I feel like I'm worth $300 an hour, actually probably $1,000 an hour, but but $300, that's not really here. But I'm just saying, I know I'm worth a lot more, but it takes me that to take time for me to go do something. It's not even worth it. Like if I have to go back and forth with a person to pay me or whatever, or my team has to go back and forth, they're taking time for something they can be doing that's way more productive for the business to continue bringing in more income. So like I'm saying, if you don't have these boundaries or these best practices put in place, you're losing money. Like That's another way money is being spent. Like you're not actually, it's not real money, but it's money being spent because now you're taking time away from time, like money income driven like activities. You're taking that away because I know you are trying to collect money, but you're trying to collect money. It's a possibility that you're 50-50 chance that you are or not going to get it. But if you can be sitting at a discovery call or sitting somewhere where you're getting $300 and you know you're going to get that $300, but you got to take time to be talking to somebody else, that's where you're going to talk. That's where the best practice comes in. So, like, I rather have it set in place. Like, your clients know you got to pay me for this on this date at this time. Then, once you do that, we do this. If you don't do that, we don't do that. End of story. That's easy peasy. You get to walk away scot free. I'm a Pisces. I don't like confrontation. So, that's the best way to do that part, right? Then you also have the other piece that was our income. Now we got down to the expenses. The expenses you want to, some people like to swipe, or you want to be able to know what you're spending throughout the month. That's number one. You want to know what you're spending repeatedly. Then you also want to make sure anything for us, we like the 10 and the 25 rule where you pay on the 10th and the 25th. That's usually for contractors and any person like social media managers, any people like freelancers that you have on your team or whoever that you're paying. But if you have any of those subscriptions that you can't kind of control to pay on the 10th and 25th, those are the ones that you probably want to create a best practice and put that on the credit card, and then you pay your credit card on the 10th and 25th. You can pay your credit card 100%, or you can pay your credit card 70%. It's up to you how you want to do it, how you want to play the credit card game, on how to manipulate it for your score to go up and down. That's up to you on that day. But you want to figure out when you're going to do payments, how you're going to do payments. And then the next thing is you want to also know if you have an independent contractors, every time you get a new one, you want to make sure that they're filling out the correct forms specific for that independent contractor. So if they're LLC, a sole prop, anyone that's not a corporation, you want them to fill out their W-9 right away. If you're not paying them with a credit card and they want you to pay with an ACH, Zelle, Cash App, whatever they want you to pay with, you make sure before you make that payment that they fill out that W-9. So it's easy. I like QuickBooks because we get their name in the email and we spit it out right to them and they fill out the form. Once they fill out the form, they get paid. That's another way that you can also slow down payment. If you're waiting, if you have to pay them, but you're waiting, like I didn't send the payment yet because, I'm waiting for you to fill out that W-9. But that's the process you want to put in place. That's what I come from the school district, and that's the same process they have in the school district. Also, in a lot of the places, like I worked at Columbia University, I worked at Unida High School. This is the process we have. We have our vendors fill out, and even at the library, our vendors have to fill out the 1099, the W-9s. Once they fill out the W-9s, they submit it to us, then we pay them. That's how it is. If you even go down to like Google, I have clients that work for, that do jobs for Google or Microsoft. They need to complete those forms before they are even submitted a check. Like it don't matter if they're getting $100 or $60, $600. That has to be submitted, because what tends to happen is when it comes to January 1st and it's time to do the 1099, everyone disappears. Everyone goes ghost. You can't find anybody to fill out that W-9. So you want to get it before you get them on the, like it's a bait and switch. Like, all right, you want to get paid, fill out the form. They're going to fill out the form. So that's something you want to put in place right there and then. More best practice, setting up time to meet with 3 people, your accountant and your financial planner. And then the next person you want to probably meet with and talk to would be an attorney. Why do you want to talk to an attorney? You want to make sure your attorney is also reviewing any of these policies you're putting into place as well, and making sure it's actually legal. And that it's like if you have engagement letters, you want to make sure your attorney's looking over the engagement letter. And then also, you might also want, after your attorney reviews the engagement letter, also have submitted through your insurance company as well. So to make sure that it's covered all the way through, because some insurance companies, if you have any type of the business liability insurance, they might say, well, because of such and such in your policy, this won't be covered under insurance. So you want to do those 3 things. But every year you want to, if you're changing any policies, do that with your attorney and the insurance company. And then you also want to meet with your accountant. If you can't afford to meet with a bookkeeper, and so bookkeeper and accountants are two different things. An accountant, I'm saying tax accountant, and then a bookkeeper will be helping you organize your finances as well, and keeping your records, maintaining your records for you. Accountants can do that, and that's basically what a bookkeeper does. A bookkeeper can do your taxes as a tax professional, but those are depending on what you need. But the tax accountant you definitely want to meet with at least once a year, but not January. You want to meet between September and December. You want to make sure that appointment is happening around that time. You're probably not gonna be able to meet with them between October 15th and like November 30th, because that's when a lot of us are studying and we're preparing for the next season. But you want to make sure you get that meeting in with your accountant to review your records and your books to see where you're at, because you want to make sure you make the decision. You do everything you have to do during that year, because there's no tax season for an entrepreneur. There's actually just a tax filing season, which is January through February. January through April, and then also January through March, depending on how you're being taxed as an entity. But you want to make sure you have that meeting with whomever it is, so they can help and guide you the right way and everything. And then your financial planner can also help you, put the money where it belongs. If it's a 401k, if it's any type of other vehicles of investments that you can put your money in that can help you. Your accountant can also say, well, buddy, you did good this year. Time to do some prepaid payments before the end of the year. So you can pay all your rent up probably. If you have enough money to pay that up, that probably save you more in paying taxes if you do that way. And then they can also give you some more sound advice now. Then it's hard to give you sound advice after the year's over, because once the year's over, it's not going back. So throughout the year, if you can meet with them every quarter, it would be awesome. But if you got to meet with them, if you can, try to meet with them at least between September and December. Definitely before December, but September is the time frame you want to meet with them. But come with clean books and clean records when you meet with that accountant and financial planner. I would say meet with the accountant first. After you meet with the accountant, meet with your financial planner, and then your attorneys. You're going to want to meet with them throughout any policy changes or any best practice you're putting in place and everything like that. Do I have anybody with questions? Sorry. I'm just spewing along. The kids are off today because it's a snow day, supposedly, but we don't have no snow, but they're off. But that's it. Thank you for joining me today. Going over this best practice was awesome. I will have a list of it. Like I said, non-negotiables. Definitely always make sure you get your W-9s. Always make sure you are 100% confident on how you're collecting your payments. Don't have somebody tell you how they're going to pay you. You tell them how they're going to pay you. That's what you want to make sure you do. That's why I say, as far as the 1099 thing, you have control over that piece when you're paying people. You just don't have prior control on when you pay them and how you pay them, unless they're working for you in your company. But that's basically it. And I'm so happy that you guys are here and joining us today. If you've been watching our social media, we will be offering our boot camp again in August, not July, but August. We'll be offering boot camp, so you're able to go in. If you do not have your records, your QuickBooks, if you don't have QuickBooks Online yet, and you haven't been able to organize your business records yet, we can help you do that in our boot camp. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be also not just myself, but you're going to be with other business owners. So that's the best time where you get to network. And if you are kind of like confused and don't really know what questions to really ask, at least other people will be asking these questions, and you'll be able to hear their questions, and you're like, oh, I never thought about that. And you can use that for yourself. So that's the best thing about why I do the boot camp as a group. But that will be starting August. We're meeting Saturdays. Don't know the time yet. I don't know yet, but it should be Saturday morning. We'll be meeting all of August. So by the time you're done with the class, you will have the course. You'll have all your records from January all the way up until like July, and then you only have a few more months left to maintain for the rest of the year. So that gives you perfect time to meet with your accountant to go over what's the next step, some tax strategies on how to save on taxes and everything, because a lot of us don't know. And like I said, I came into this business off from the beginning because I was tired of all the small business owners around me that every time they went and got their taxes done, they got this big tax bill, and they were told like, oh, you had a profit of like 50 to 40,000, whatever the profit was, 50, 70,000, 100,000, like a high number of profit, but they didn't have money saved for taxes, and then it wasn't even in their account. The profit didn't match what they were being told on their taxes. So I started this company to make sure that my owners are aware of what's going on with their business throughout the year. Like they are managing their cash flow all the way down to like the cent. Like they know this is how much I have, this is how much I can pay me, this is how much I have put away for taxes. So there's no surprises at the end. So this is what this boot camp is definitely here to start with. It's like the accelerator to get you there. And then after that, just so many different ways you can go. You can join our other group that meets once a week for the rest of the year, or you can have somebody else maintain your books, or you can, do it yourself. There's so many different ways from there, but at least this gives you the jump start to do that. But I'm going to sign off now. If you do have any questions, you can always, reach me at hello@faithacs.com. That's my email address. So you can email us there, book a consultation. Book an hour consultation. Little do you know, I will probably, you tell me one thing. And the FYI, if you put more notes in your comments, if you're doing discovery call, I always kind of do, like, I have to do my research. So I'll do some more research for you, and you're going to get all the information I can give you in that hour. So that's my one thing about my boundaries. Once you get me on the call, I'm just going to spill. Like I'm going to spill the tea. I'm going to spill all the information. And if you come with me or not, it doesn't matter. I just don't want anybody out there not getting the right information. And like I'm out here, TikTok is great. We have some good people on TikTok. Like, for instance, we have Zana. She's a great person on TikTok. But there's some people on TikTok, like do your research on these TikTok people giving TikTok advice. There's some people out there doing some TikTok stuff that is crazy and not giving accurate advice. Like, for instance, I have my own husband that sends me TikTok videos. Like, boy, you do not stop sending me these videos without the publication that the IRS is stating this is happening in. Don't send it to me. So that's what I do. We make sure we look up every information accurately, and I will give you that information. So if you do a discovery call and you put it in the notes, I'm going to ask you such and such questions. I will have all those questions in a PowerPoint ready for you to go. So you can book a call at hello@faithacs.com. Just send an email, and then we'll send you back an email so you can schedule a call. You can also send us a PM as well on our Instagram and our Facebook, and we'll also get back to you too with any questions you have. You can also go on this comment, and I will see and say, hey, Kareem, want to talk to you, and I'll send you the link as well to book a call. But it was great talking to everyone. Hey, Hazel. Hey, Michelle on Instagram. Hey, everybody. So it was awesome. And I hope everyone enjoyed the rest of this summer that's about to start. I can't wait. Kids are off. Yeah, I'm so excited. The teachers get a break from our kids. So I'll be back with the kids for a few days, for a few months, but it'll be awesome. I'm keeping my prayers, praying it out, making sure the fridge is stocked and daily. I think I should be fine, even though they're going to ask for snacks every 4 hours, not every 2 hours, maybe every hour. I don't know, but pray for me. I'll make it through the summer, but I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye.